Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Volquest Mailbag Podcast. I'm Eric Kane alongside Brent Hubbs, Grant Ramey, and Austin Price. I got a lot of questions here to get into, and we'll do that over the course of the next 45, 50 minutes. Massive week happening right now, Volquest.com. Biggest game of the year, right? Dark mode is activated, and it is Tennessee and Oklahoma night game at Neyland, the first of the year. And it is a college football playoff eliminator for whoever loses this game, and the winner gets to continue to keep on, its college football playoff hopes alive. So it's going to be a fun game. Looking forward to what's going to happen. And, we got lots of stuff over Volquest.com right now with basketball season starting. Tip-off Monday night, right? Season opener, Grant?
Monday night.
Monday night. And we got big recruiting weekend, AP. There's going to be tons of stuff in the war room coming up this weekend. And we got fall baseball. So new coach as well. So a lot going on here at Volquest.com. $1 for 7 days. Huh? New coach, yeah.
Coach, yeah.
When did that happen?
Coach. Looks new, too. I mean, I don't know who that guy is without the beard. So.
Next time you see him, he'll have the full beard back. It's on its way back.
I did laugh when one of the media people came up to Eric on Monday and said, "Have you caught up on sleep yet?" I'm like, Eric said no. And I'm like, yeah, it had nothing to do with the coaching search, though. It has to do with the fact he's got a 6-month-old.
I didn't clarify. It's like, I wake up several times during the night anyway, but I've been doing that for 6 months.
I mean, it was a what, Grant? 48-hour, 70-hour coaching search.
Yeah,
those are the best kind.
Yes,
I was hoping for Eric's sake that it would just be something where Tony's gone and then Josh gets announced as the new head coach like that. Like there is no coaching search; it's just handed over. But made him suffer for.
I think what was more stressful, and Grant and AP, please chime in because you were right there on the front lines doing more of the battle than I was sometimes. Tony Watch 2025 was more of a deal than Coaching Search 2025, right? Like,
yes,
the Tony Vitello, will he, won't he, on campus watching, I'm not going to pull back the curtain.
When Rick flirted with UCLA in whatever year that was, 19, that was like that was only like a 24-hour thing, but that 24 hours was awful because you couldn't get any answers. Yeah. Nobody was talking. You didn't know which way he was leaning. You didn't know how real it was. You didn't know what factors were at play. You were just trying to figure everything out with nobody talking. This was Tony Watch was 5 days.
Yeah, and Tony would talk. He just wouldn't
say anything.
Make any
well,
sense.
That's the other thing is, it was just business as normal for 5 days. Like, what does it mean? So then you're trying to read into everything under the sun. Like, what's the body language? What does he mean? Where did he go? He left campus. He came back to campus. What, that type of thing. It was
some Vol fan was following him outside of an apartment, sending pictures to Eric, like TMZ. It was fantastic.
Grant, we were in Tuscaloosa, right?
You remember where we were when the Rick Barnes thing was going on? Do you remember where you and I were?
No, I remember doing something at Channel 8, lengthy for like Facebook Live or something when all that was going down, but I don't remember when I was when it first started.
You and I had been at Augusta. We were.
Oh, that's right. We had been at the Masters deal. I forgot about
it. Augusta. We thought he was gone.
Yeah, because we didn't have phones for hours. What were we doing? I should have canceled that trip and worked instead of dumping on everybody else.
Putting my daughter to bed because it happened at like 8 o'clock or something. It got broken at like 8 o'clock at night or something, and I was just like, "You got to be kidding me!" Like that, Rick, Los Angeles. What are we talking about here? But it was legit.
Like, this isn't real, right?
It was real.
Yep.
It was crazy.
So
never assume.
I was going to say a fun last couple of weeks, and no better way to stay up to date on everything happening Tennessee related than at Volquest.com. $1 for your first 7 days. We will jump into your questions here after we had a little round table. That was fun, little 4-minute round table conversation.
Yeah, we told them about your sleeping patterns.
Because everybody's wanted to know. Last night it was 1:30, then it was 4. Canadavol. Fans are almost entirely blaming the defensive struggles on the secondary. Is everyone giving the D-line a pass just because of the love for Rodney and Chop? Whatever happened to great lines make for great secondaries? How do y'all think the D-line is performing, and should they shoulder some of the blame?
Yeah, I don't think the entire defense is not playing well. I think Rodney Garner made that very clear when he met the media on Tuesday, that it was all 3 levels. It's a defensive line that was really good at rushing the quarterback, Grant, early in the year. The last 2 weeks, they've not rushed the quarterback well enough. So, there's not a lot of things you can look at on this defense and say, hey, those guys, that group's playing well, or this person's playing well, or they're doing this well. It's just been rough the last couple, particularly at Kentucky. It was just not very good at all.
However, I should have dropped this during the round table we just had. This shirt, if you see the logo, came from a source at Food City Center the other night. He wanted me to show it to you, show you that I was getting a start on the Adidas apparel line July 1st.
Well, I'm not sure where my gear is, so I'll be reaching out to that
to a mutual friend,
that friendly fan that hangs out at Food City Center. So
no, I don't.
Steven, I will be talking to you soon, my friend.
I don't think they've been very good I don't think they've been good all season against the run. I think they've been a little bit better against the run the last couple of weeks, but they were living by those sack numbers through the first 5 games of the season. They had 26. I think it was the lead in the SEC, and I think they have 27 maybe a couple of weeks later. So
yeah, 27.
It was good to hear Rodney just say on Tuesday, like, they're not good enough. They haven't been good enough. They're, they need to coach better. They need to play better, execute better, all that stuff. Like, it's just good to hear a coach come out and say they haven't been good enough.
And AP, towards the end of his conversation, he was like, I mean, we got the same coaches, we got the same players for the most part, like, just not getting it done. I mean, Rodney said that so many different times, and you like that he said that, but I mean, what do you do to get it done? Like, that's kind of the counter there. I mean, what does this defensive line need to do in order to get back and get home more? Because you were on pace to surge, and you still will, your season sack total from last year, but 1 sack in the last 8 quarters.
Yeah, they've not been able to get home, and they've been close a lot. But they just close is not good enough. And I think for the entire defense, I mean, the coaches want to hit on the fundamentals, and that's good, right? I would also tell you that I like Rodney just takes accountability, says he has to be better. I like that, and that's not to say Josh hasn't, but, I think Rodney's just so much more direct in his approach to, it's not good enough. It starts with us.
Is that why he's the spokesman for the defensive staff?
I guess so. Again, the defense coordinator's not spoke since August, 1st of August. So I guess, listen, I'd rather hear, listen, we all make fun of Rodney in August when he's goes full hubs in there for a press conference and talks about how bad they are or whatever. But like when they're bad, I think you got to simply say they're bad. And I think that he's the perfect person to go out there and say, we got to do this better, that better, and go on.
I agree.
We laugh when Tennessee's got 6 sacks, and he's like, "Oh, terrible, terrible."
I think the best is in spring practice on March the 12th. It's my birthday, March the 12th, and he's just like, "Man, we're just so bad, ain't no good. That guy's awful." I mean, it's like spring practice, man. Calm down.
It's the Learn About Eric Kane hour. His sleep schedule and his birthday all delivered to you by
everybody's wanting to know. Nashville 615. Do you think the defense this year is a sign that the 2024 defense wasn't as good as we thought? No, I think the 2024 defense is pretty dang good.
This question had me in a pretzel trying to figure out what. It makes the defense in 2024 look even better. It makes JERMOD McCoy and Ricky Gibson look like NFL corners, and Omari Thomas and those guys.
James Pierce, the first rounder
Pierce,
he is.
The attention.
Omar Norman Lott, yeah,
that was a really good defense.
To quote the late great Denny Green, they are who we thought they were, and that goes for every year. Sometimes you're better than other years. Joey Aguilar was Mr. Pick a year ago. Has he been Mr. Pick this year? Not really. I mean, he's been pretty ridiculously good. So, same guy, just 2 different years, 2 different supporting casts.
Well, I mean, listen, we could talk about what they've lost. You're going to look back at that 24 defense and look at how many guys they had in the NFL. But the reality is, part of the reason why the 25 defense is a shell of themselves is Boo Carter's not as good as he was as a freshman. He's not played anywhere near where he played a year ago. And they do have 2 NFL corners who are standing on the sidelines in street clothes. I mean, you take 3 of your starting 5 in the secondary who are going to play 2 of them are going to play on Sunday, and the third one you thought was going to make a real step from a freshman to sophomore year, really improved, then that changes everything you have back there. They're not good enough at safety. Okay, let's get that on the table. I don't want somebody posting in the thread and comment about, oh, you're giving safeties a pass. They're not good enough there. But it changes where you are if you have those 2 corners out there.
I do wonder, Brent, Will Brooks a year ago, how much he helped a guy like Boo Carter get in the right spot. And
so I think he helped everybody get lined up.
Well, maybe so, but how much are they missing that? A guy who was just so super smart that he basically erased when you had a mental error before you got going.
Well, all I know is they bust a lot of stuff this year. So, for whatever reason, and he's not back there. I don't want to say it's all him, but they were clearly more fundamentally sound mentally last year than they've been in the secondary this year.
Will the 2026 skill positions be the best of the Heupel era because of the skill talent? Is there added pressure to bring in an experienced portal quarterback? Let's break this in half real quick. Let's talk about the quarterback one first. Do you think Tennessee will go shopping for an experienced guy to come in and compete for the quarterback job?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But I think they need somebody. I don't think you can roll into next year with – because, I mean, everybody's going off the assumption that Merklinger won't be here, right? I don't think you can roll into next year with just George and just Faison and be like, all right, we're good. Number 3 is the kid from Northview who's a walk-on. We're good. I don't think you can do that. But I also don't think you go down the rabbit hole of stunning anybody's growth if you feel like George is, or Faison's going to be the guy. Like I think that doesn't help either. So, yeah, it's a tough question because you could say you could argue really either side of the coin here. And I don't think anybody would be wrong. I know what side of the coin I would be on, but again, I don't think you can be wrong in this instance. I think if you argue that you need to bring somebody in, I think that's a fair argument.
Well, do you bring somebody in who's just a body grant, or are you bringing somebody in and you're going to spend an exorbitant amount of money to get them when you're already spending money on having the 2 guys that you have here? I mean, there's also that part of the equation as well. I mean, you've made a decision to go the high school route with these 2 guys. George has got a year to get ready here. I mean, if he's developed, it's his time. That's the reason David Sanders is playing is because you made a commitment to go that direction, so you play him. And I think that's where you are at quarterback. Would you like to have a warm body for some depth? Sure, but I mean, you're not going to go out and try to get a high profile experienced quarterback that's going to cost you $2 or $3 million a year to play football.
No, I mean, my perfect world scenario is you're basically, it's like the NFL getting somebody to hold the clipboard. Like, you need somebody to be that guy, but finding somebody to be that guy in college football when everybody's still trying to get to the next level themselves and play for something it's easy to talk about. It's another thing to go out and find and execute it.
Will the 2026 skill positions be the best of the Heupel era? Let's work through on offense right now. Brazel's gone. Matthews, I mean, again, portal era, who knows? But Matthews, Staley expect to come back. Smith, Jackson, that wide receiver.
And then all the freshmen that they do like, the Tristan Keys, Legend Bay, Leslie Moa, Tyree King.
Tight end, you're losing Kitzelman, but you'd have Davis, Jack Van Dorselaer, Brame, like that. At running back, minus Star Thomas, again, things can always happen. Minus Star Thomas, you bring back 4 guys you really like and 2 guys that are super experienced. Would that be the best skilled players of the Heupel era? Would that contend with the Hyatts and the Tillmans and the Bayless Jones? And
well, you got to remember this about the 22 season. Jalen Hyatt was an unknown coming into that season. He had not done a lot. Now, there was all the talk in the offseason about how he had turned the corner, and he kind of became the poster child for who's taking that big offseason step. Jalen Hyatt did it. Jalen Wright did it the year after that. But from a proven commodity standpoint, I think it would be the best group of skill guys coming back. I don't
entering
know
the
that
season
it's real close.
From a proven standpoint. Yeah, I would agree for sure.
I mean, and a talent standpoint, a proven and talent standpoint, when you combine the 2, I think it's the best, or will be, if they all stay.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because I think Bayless is just so different than Staley. And I think Tillman is so different from any receiver that's on the roster right now. It's just different, right? I mean, that doesn't mean it's worse or better or anything. Like, obviously, this group is so productive. That group is very productive, too. It's just it's a very different look when you look at that group compared to this group.
I think I give the advantage to wide receivers 26, but I think advantage running backs some of those groups from the past just because of how productive they were.
I agree with that.
No offense to the 26 guys.
I don't disagree with that either.
And I would give the tight ends to the 26 group.
Yes.
VolumeShooter, he's got a couple here, staying true to his name. Is recruiting, this kind of goes back to what we just talked about, is recruiting elite high school quarterbacks still worth it? Is that a good use of revenue share dollars? Do you still get a recruiting bump with elite quarterbacks joining the high school class?
I think that's something you definitely have to weigh. Let's say George wins the job next year and George is really good. Then I would tell you the argument is, yes, you still go the high school route. If he were to struggle or Faison struggles as well, and you're sitting there with two young guys who have no experience that have struggled, then, I would argue that's probably not. You look around college football, most of the players that are having success, most of the players that got drafted this past year at that position were on their second or third team. There's very few Ty Simpsons of the world who have kind of just said, I'm going to be like Mac Jones and stick it out and win the job and has played well and so on and so forth. Most of the kids are bouncing around from school 2 to school 3.
Yeah, I think there's multiple layers to that question, and I don't think there's a right answer to it, Grant. I think when you look at the Chambliss kid at Ole Miss that you got on a cheaper deal, everybody goes, oh, well, that's the way you go. Joey Aguilar at Tennessee. Oh, okay, there's you go. Is Miami getting $4 million a year worth of Carson Beck? Is that worth the $4 million a year for them to go get a big name quarterback in the portal? And not everybody's going to make a move like that, but when you talk about your rev share dollars, for every one that hits, like Aguilar and like the Chambliss kid at Ole Miss, it's not an exact science. You're not just going to go, hey, go get the guy at at a group of 5 or below, and he's going to be the perfect fit for you at the quarterback position. So there is no right answer to this question, I don't think.
No, Joey Aguilar is not going to be sitting there every offseason waiting for you to just go find him, and he's going to be the perfect fit. For every Joey Aguilar and Trinidad Chambliss, there's a Gio Lopez who was a big name in the portal market and has struggled mightily at North Carolina for whatever.
A lot of that goes back down to your sporting cast too.
Yeah. It was. That's a hell of a pull, Grant, on Lopez. I forgot about that name. That's well done.
And on Beck, that's just $1 million for every interception he threw.
That's what I was making the same.
Louisville. So that's pretty good value. If you think about it.
Also, Trinidad went to a place where Simmons was the starter.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lane said it in spring, but Austin Simmons was starting the season for Ole Miss. Everybody knew that, and Chambliss came in just
because of injury. He came in because of injury.
Yeah.
I don't know that you see Chambliss if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think it helps too that Simmons was just so bad that once he got healthy, just continue to roll with.
Well, Chambliss had been so good too, but you put a lot of money into Nussmeier at LSU, didn't work. Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, right? Tennessee spent a lot of money on Nico to come here, didn't work. There's examples of it being successful in whatever category you want to put quarterback recruiting in. You can pull one out and say, this is the way to do it. You can pull one out and say, no, this is the way to do it. That's why there's no right answer. But you have to get the quarterback position right or you're not very good.
The point
for the most part, though, too, AP.
Good ones. You can't have enough quarterbacks. Figure it out. The fact that Chambliss kid went to Ole Miss with a proven deal is why Tennessee fans go, why can't you bring somebody in here to go with those high school kids? Why can't you? Right. You tell me you can't, but here I see this instance that there is that this kid's doing it. The kid from Mississippi State goes down there with Nussmeier at LSU. You know what I mean? There's multiple instances where you can do it.
Great point.
Yeah, I thought that was wild that Van Buren wasn't great, but started almost the entire year as a true freshman because Blake Shapen was hurt, and he just signed up to go back up Nussmeier, essentially just get his cards in line to be the guy down there, 2 years in advance. All right, let's go. A lot of coaching changes. Does this help the 26 class stay intact? Will this be the wildest portal season yet?
Another question where you can argue both sides. It should because there's continuity here and there's stability here. But when new coaches get to new places, it allows you to be able to take it swing. Let's use Lane as the example. Let's say Lane was take the LSU job. Well, that means LSU's got to wait out Ole Miss's exit. Lane's not going to leave during the middle of the playoff run, right? Well, the way signing day is pushed up now to the first week of December, Like, that's a benefit to everybody that's trying to hold on to the class, right? Like, there's very little chance that there's going to be enough time when a coach is hired at the end of the regular season up till signing day to be able to flip a kid, because it's just going to be hard. So I think that makes it easier to hold on to. But I do think that, with the change comes, hey, look at this opportunity here at this school. We'll offer you this amount of money. And schools are like, well, I don't want to pay that at the current place I'm at, or the current place you're at. Then they have to decide what do they want to do financially at schools that are trying to hold on to kids.
Homefield Apparel, the exclusive apparel sponsor of Volquest.com. Football season, it's obviously here, but we're getting into the back half, the home stretch, and it's getting a little chilly outside. It just smells like football, feels like football, but it is getting chilly. Regardless of the weather, you can be decked out in style thanks to Homefield Apparel when you go to Neyland Stadium this football season. Can't miss Kickoff 2025 campaign. You're going to get football boxes, coaching jackets, bomber jackets, and more of these football boxes, never-before-seen items that are curated for the University of Tennessee that are not available anywhere else. Fans have new gear to wear all season long, suitable for weather conditions. And the best part about Homefield Apparel, vintage college designs. Okay, look at this beautiful hoodie right here. This is what I would recommend if I was going as a fan to Neyland Stadium this Saturday for Tennessee versus Oklahoma. I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to put this in front of my mic, but look at this if you're watching on YouTube. It's beautiful gray hoodie. It has the football helmet on the back, has a power tee on the front, and it feels so soft. Look at the front right here. It feels amazing. Comfort, durability, and it's going to keep you warm this football season here in the month of late October and November. Go to homefieldapparel.com to get started today. That is homefieldapparel.com. Do want to give a shout out to Dollar Shave Club. When you rep your team, don't stop at just the jersey. Dollar Shave Club's collegiate razor handles combine grooming with glory, letting students, grads, and fans show their school spirit and style. From the sink to the stadium, shave with pride. Visit dollarshaveclub.com to grab your college handle today. And go Vols. Of the 10 who saw serious minutes on Sunday, which 2 to 3 guys will be the odd men outcome conference play? Basketball, Grant. Will Tennessee have enough go-to scores to make the Final Four in March?
I mean, I'm still surprised Bishop Boswell started and played 24 minutes. I think he took 2 shots. He didn't score. It's just hard to play 4-on-5 on the offensive end and expect to have good results happen. Obviously, Jemai Meshack played a ton of basketball at Tennessee the last 4 years, but I don't think he was playing 25 minutes in year 2 and starting, and his offense was a little bit more developing, I guess. He was a threat to score it a little bit, at least more than taking 2 shots a game in 24 minutes. So, I mean, I would start there because I think you have to have a better answer or a different answer at the 2 guard. I would go to Dwayne Brown because he's the freshman, and it feels like he's the last guy in that rotation of the bigs, but he was the most productive of the bigs in that rotation Sunday night against Duke, so I don't want to see less of him. And go-to scorers, yeah, they will. Nate Amit's going to score it. Jacoby Gillespie's going to score it. They're both going to shoot it better than they shot it against Duke. I think Chaz was 2 for 12 from 3 against Indiana in that exhibition game, and Zakai didn't play very well in that Indiana exhibition game. You're going to be fine. They're going to hit shots, and they're going to have those go-to offensive guys. I think J.P. Estrella could develop into a post guy that can be go-to buckets for you.
Plus, Brent, when you factor in how much change they brought in, I mean, there's going to be a buffer time here where they're trying to, 1, figure out who they can trust, 2, gel together as a team. You can practice together and play a bunch of pickup games and practice all you want, but until you get into a flow playing other opponents, I mean, you're trying to figure out, who you are, who you can trust, what lineups you like, who's comfortable playing on this stage, all those things.
If you play your best basketball in December, you've not had a very good year playing basketball.
Correct.
They got like 5 games kind of to start figuring that out before Grant heads to the desert here. When is that, Grant?
They got a month. It's November 25th is the second game in Vegas against Houston. They play Rutgers the first day. Rutgers isn't very good, but between then and now, yeah, you've got bye games that are against teams that it's basically a runway into the season.
Speaking of dates, to go back to the previous question, Tennessee will play Vanderbilt November 29th. Signing day is December 3rd now. It's not December 17th, 18th, 19th when that window. So, like, you talk about coaches when at the end of rivalry week, when coaches start to get hired, and signing day is right up against that. I think that benefits every school that is trying to hold on to their class.
I agree. Like, the month of December has gotten significantly better for coaches over the last 2 years. Like with this change, moving the window now to January. I mean, we talked about it all the time. December was just awful.
It's just since last year. Last year was a disaster.
Yeah. And so you have these two. Last year they had the signing class moved up to the beginning of the month, but like it used to be December 17th, 18th, 19th. I mean, I remember I got married December. Another Caner fact that nobody gives a crap about. I got married December 22nd, and I mean, signing day was like 2 days before that a couple years ago. So it used to be later in the month. Sam Smith 2233. Tony's strong point was being able to close on big fish in the portal and get top dudes to campus. Do you think Josh Elander can go to the kitchen table and beat out Jay and LSU for a guy like Doyle and Mack type kid? It's a really good question. And I've talked to several people about it this week and Chris Burke about it. And I mean, it's not a knock on Elander at all. I mean, Elander has 1,000% been involved he's been the recruiting coordinator. But AP, as you and I were talking about the other day, like Tony's the ace in the hole. Like Tony's the elite. Like he's the card you play. Until Elander's in a situation to go out and get a Liam Doyle type guy and beat out a Jay Johnson or a Slosh at Texas or whoever. I just don't think we know. I don't think that he's going to be bad in that situation. But he'll certainly have to go out and win some of those guys to where you think Tennessee has a seat at the table with those programs in the portal. I think in the high school rank, I think this is more of a conversation for the portal, for landing the Doyle, the Mack, the Fords, and stuff like that. So I'm intrigued to see what that looks like. I mean, Elander obviously played a huge part in getting those guys here, but you also had Tony. And so I'm really intrigued to kind of see how that looks like next summer with Josh Elander leading the charge.
It's why winning with this team is so important.
Yep.
Because if you win with this team, with Tony gone, it proves you didn't miss a beat, and it helps you when you go into those rooms with those transfers come next summer.
I mean, you see the way the team loves Josh Elander, went to bat for him, former players and all that. And I'm not saying Josh. I'm not saying at all Josh does not make a good first impression, but I'm just saying, like, those guys know Josh Elander. I love him. Like, Tony can go and win over anybody, anytime at the kitchen table, and he can do it in 10 minutes for the most part.
Don't you think
that was a skill?
But don't you think portal kids are looking for something different than getting wowed by personality? Don't you think it's, hey, can I be the Friday night starter at your place? Can I be the Sunday starter? I mean, can I be the shortstop? Now, the difference is Tony stacked his roster with transfers when he already had guys at that position, which is why you got 5 shortstops on your roster and all those types of things. But I'm not saying guys aren't interested in personality, but I think your current roster helps you as much with transfer kids as it does anything else. Like, yeah, you come play here, get developed here, and those type of things more than, man, this guy's got a great personality. He won me over my kitchen table. I mean, a lot of these kids are making decisions, and they never even meet a guy face-to-face until they come to campus. So I think in some ways that can help you a little bit in the portal. And then obviously you have the NIL factor as well. Right there.
I think transfers that way in general, right? I mean, like when the football kids, I mean, they don't care about doing photo shoots, any of that stuff. They want to know, how much am I getting paid? What's my role in this team? Am I the starter? In the baseball case, am I the Friday night starter? Am I the starting first baseman? What am I? How do you envision me? And again, at the end of the day, how much am I getting paid?
In baseball, I think even maybe more than football. Like, a lot of these guys never come to campus. They commit and they show up in August or whatever, and they get to work. I mean, Mark Hendy never stepped foot on campus. Like, a lot of those guys in the portal never stepped foot on campus. How much more will they give Frank to help Josh become a first-time head coach? I'm interested to see kind of what this staff ends up being when it's finalized, like who's in what role. Obviously, there's an assistant coach open. There's a question about that later. We'll get to it here in a moment. But yeah, I think there's a good possibility that Frank Anderson could get a pay bump. I mean, guy's not going to coach 10 more years. All right, he's on I view Frank as year to year in terms of when he wants to retire. Certainly, if you have a first-time head coach, and those guys have worked together for years, obviously, but maybe you give Frank Anderson a little bit more of a bump just to kind of help facilitate Josh into this new role. I could definitely see that happening. I'll be intrigued to see kind of how the responsibilities shift from coach to coach and kind of what these new roles are looking like. And yeah, I think there's a lot to kind of get worked out in that regard, but I could absolutely see Frank Anderson getting a pay bump, especially too, Brent, and this is a kind of a bigger picture question. You were paying Tony $3.1 whatever million. You're paying Elander $1. So there's a lot of money left that's, got to go somewhere. Is that going all to baseball? Is it going all to the portal? Is it going to NIL? And is it going to another sport? Like, there's a lot of money there that the university is technically saving.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you give a raise just to give a raise if you're not worried about somebody leaving you. I mean, I think that but the commitment to baseball is there. If Frank Anderson needs more money, then obviously there's some money to deal with there and play with. We'll see how their budget all shapes out. I think it's very clear that the belief is that baseball is going to have all the resources it needs to go win, and I think that everybody has made that clear. I think Elander made that clear. I think Danny White's made that clear as well. Now, there's certainly plenty of people debate all of that and have been for the last 10 days to 2 weeks, but there's a belief that they have whatever they need to go win a championship.
DavyVol, Tennessee should never statistically have the worst defense in the SEC. They either need better players or better coaches, maybe both. Heupel can't stand pat after the season. I have my doubts that he makes any coaching changes. The secondary looks slow and unathletic against SEC teams. Do you think they overhaul the secondary in the portal?
Yeah, I think they go heavy in the portal, in the secondary. I think you got to go in the portal at the safety position. I think you got to go in the portal at the nickel position. I think you're always looking for a corner, Austin. Tennessee's had success with portal corners. Now, you get Ricky Gibson back. You thought you were going to have Colton Hood. I think he's not going to be back. You got Ty Redmond, but you still need more depth there. Where's Merritt? What do you think of some of these young kids? I just think they're going to be in the portal because they've always been in the portal in the secondary. I think the portal focuses more on safety this year than maybe corner.
I agree with you. At the same time, I would tell you, you don't limit yourself. If you can get a good portal corner, you absolutely do it.
Sure.
I think safety for sure. Definitely one, maybe not two. I think you have to look hard in the secondary to flip everything. And listen, Tennessee should be able to go out and pitch it. I mean, JERMOD McCoy, Colton Hood. The success that they've had the last couple of years, even a guy like Jalen McMurray, by going to the portal, it should allow you to be an attractive spot for anybody when you're shopping in those top waters at that position.
Yeah, and talking about safety, I would pitch the crap out of Jalen McCullough. Look what he's doing in the National Football League. I mean,
yes, from a development standpoint, I was just getting kids to come in, adapting it from transfers and
from a development standpoint, is what I meant. I like this one. 007 Vol. There's only one correct answer to this, by the way. If you're going to Hubs' house to scare him, what Halloween costume are you wearing?
The most obvious answer in the history of the Volquest Mailbag podcast.
An alligator.
An alligator.
Yep. Alligator.
There's twice a year that I will FaceTime Brent Hubs, and it's when I'm at Hilton Head. And
you're a prick for doing it both times.
And I'm standing next to an alligator, or my kids have drugged me to the zoo or aquarium or whatever, and there's an alligator exhibit. Guaranteed. FaceTime and Hubs to show him.
Oof. Move on.
Those Instagram reels can never pass up a good chance.
Now the opposite. Like, let me tell you what gets my heebie-jeebies is creepy crawlies, like bugs, insects, those type of things. Like, I'd rather be in a room with a live tiger than be in a room.
No. You want to know what is the scariest thing for AP? The sun.
Off-brand Peter Millar.
Public golf courses.
A gift card to Warriors Pass State Park. 18 holes on me. AP for $10.
Listen, I grew up playing places like Warriors Pass State Park, okay? The old GKA days, the old GKGA.
There's a reason. There's a reason it's the old days. There's a reason it's the old days, not the current days.
None of that's beneath me. I love golf, period.
Smoky Man 15, what do you make of all the...
You had somebody. You said you're going to say something that scared me or whatever.
I was going to say the sun. You try to hide from the sun a lot.
I do.
Yeah, the sun, because like when we're doing stand-ups, you just can't deal with the sun.
Oh, it's because my retinas and all that are concaved or whatever a certain way. So like light gets inside. So like when it's real bright, it does kind of throw me off. But yes,
It doesn't affect him on the tee box, though.
I have a hat on then, and I'm not looking up at it.
And he loves golf.
That's right. And he hits the ball so straight off the tee, he never has to look up in the sun to see where it went.
Do you know what golf course this is right here? It's called Garden City. Shout out to my guy Jimmy Beard.
So it's not Warriors Path?
No.
Lost Creek?
No.
Jimmy Beard, good guy. What do you make of all the cross-training we do in the secondary? Are you aware of other teams who do that? Every recruit mentions it. Martinez mentions it. Seems like we have trouble identifying plays or what, maximizing players' ability. We clearly need to find a true safety in the portal. What? Probably more than one.
I think everybody cross-trains. I mean, I think if you bring in a guy as a corner and he's not, whatever reason, talented enough to play corner, I think the feeling has always been he can play safety. Some guys have not played very well at the safety position, and some of that's not worked out. I think you go get the best athlete. Listen, if Caleb Downs is floating around at the safety position, you go get him, right, Grant? I mean, you go get the best. You go get an elite safety. But there's a lot of corners playing in college, or a lot of safeties playing in college football who were corners in high school. So it's not uncommon to recruit a corner in high school with the idea that he's going to be a safety in college. And it just hasn't panned out well enough for Tennessee.
You had me at Caleb Downs. Go get Caleb Downs. Go get the next Caleb Downs.
There you go.
That's the answer.
If you can find one of those.
David Keith fan, Kane, what do you expect Coach Elander to do with his open assistant position? In football, we would be looking at DB, LB, D-line, OL, etc. coaches. Are we looking specifically for pitching, hitting, fielding type of any of that? Good question. I don't think it necessarily matters as much as you would think. Tennessee had, their third assistant when they won the national championship, Jackson. He was another pitching. He was a pitching guy, right? And so he was kind of a secondary pitching coach to Frank Anderson. Tennessee technically has that as a support staff guy, and Josh Reynolds, who was a Power 4 pitching coach at Cincinnati when he came over to Tennessee. So could they elevate him? Wouldn't shock me. You have Ricky Martinez, who's more of an infielder guy and actually went to New Mexico State or wherever he was for a couple of years and then came back. He's on the sports staff right now, former player, of course. And he can work with infielders, but you've got Ross Kivett, who's kind of your infield coach. So I think it's more about fit. I think it's more about dynamics. Luke Bonfield, who left Tennessee after being on the sports staff for a long time, he's now the recruiting coordinator at Pitt. We'll see if they, I think anything's on the table right now. Elander's made it abundantly clear that he's focused on the guys in his room and taking care of that. My counter to that would be Bonnie's one of your guys, right? He's been with here forever. He's more of an outfielders coach. Tennessee doesn't necessarily have a true outfielders coach, if you will. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think he's going to go internal here for sure. I shouldn't say for sure. I think he's going to go internal. That's my opinion. We'll see how it plays out. But I don't think it's necessarily you got to have a pitching or hitting or catching or anything like that, because I think across the board they're kind of, they got all those bases covered, if you will. Basketball guys, who do you see getting the most minutes at the 2 guard once the SEC season starts?
I would lean towards Ethan Berg. He's older. He's a veteran. He's been around. He's played a lot of basketball. I don't know what he is defensively or if he needs to make up ground there. But he's still relatively new in the system. He's only been here a couple months. And I think Rick tends to lean on veterans and experience when he has it. So, but at the same time, again, I didn't see the whole Bishop Boswell thing playing out the way it did against Duke. So we'll see how that kind of develops as the year goes on.
Which player or players have surprised you in a good way with their performances so far this season? He did not say you can't say Joey Aguilar, but that's a slam dunk answer for everybody. Who else other than Joey Aguilar?
Chris Breisel. I didn't have him having this kind of year. So I think Lance Hurd's played much better. Defensively, I mean, Don Bailey's been a good player. He's probably been a little better than he's probably been better than he's been in years past because he's had to play inside some. He's been really consistent for Tennessee. Outside of that, I don't know that there's really anybody else on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Hood's been good. You were hoping he was good. He's probably been better than you thought. I don't know that it's a great shock that he's been good.
Colton Hood. Braylon Staley has been he had a tough day at Mississippi State, but outside of that, he's been pretty consistent and just productive and somebody you can go to. Obviously, Brazel. Obviously, Colton Hood. I don't know outside of that.
I would say Jordan Ross. I mean, he's been pretty productive. I know he's third in line at Leo, but he plays a lot of snaps.
I anticipated him. I mean, it was his time. Like he should have. I guess he should have elevated up. I mean, he can be more consistent, but he's been. I mean, you can put him in that category.
Yeah. The ADaug on a scale of 1 to 10, how decimated would this baseball roster recruiting class have been if an outside coach had been hired? First and foremost, go ahead, AP.
I was going to say decimated. I think a bunch of those kids were going to. I think all the kids committed were going to bolt, and I think the kids on this team could have dropped down and played Division II. There was a lot of chatter out there. So
yeah, I mean, but I hear you with the chatter, but I find it hard to believe that a lot of guys would have dropped down a level. You know, junior college, maybe a couple, but your best chance of getting drafted, especially for those draft eligible guys, is right here. So, I mean, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened with the roster, in my opinion, because I do think some guys would have entered the portal, but I just don't think that they would have lost a ton from the current roster. Just my opinion, because I don't see guys dropping down a level when you're playing in the Southeastern Conference here at Tennessee. I just don't.
But you would have been starting from scratch as much as you can start from scratch, right? It would feel that way.
I think it would not be so much about the 26 roster. I think it would have been, what does this roster look like after the 26 season when your new coach is going into his first full year, when he's lost a recruiting class, and all those kids who are not draft eligible would have been eligible to transfer anywhere else in the country they wanted to transfer at the level of Tennessee. I think that would have been my biggest concern. I don't know how many would have left between now and February, some, I'm with you, but I think the roster would have been decimated in June with the lack of incoming guys from the recruiting class that you lost, and with guys potentially going to the portal and leaving you for another big school.
Yeah, I think recruiting-wise, they would have taken tons and tons of hits for sure. Vol in Rhode Island. When should we anticipate hearing news on the proposed 5-for-5 rule?
It seems like it's been pushed back. I don't think there's any timetable for that to happen in the immediate future.
AJ Lewis 0527, I know it's been discussed before, but not sure if anything's changed on Joey potentially pursuing another year of eligibility.
I don't think there's another year there, based on the people I've talked to. Austin, you may have different deal. I mean, he gray shirted, he didn't play.
I hear different years. I hear more than I hear yes. I don't know. Multiple people have told me different answers.
It is just wild. We live in an era where it's like, I don't know if this guy can play next year or not. I don't know. Check back in December.
Well, it's only been like that for 5 years now.
True. It is kind of the norm, right?
It's the new normal. It'd be weird to go back to just straight up 4 years.
Do you think our defense plays better under the lights in Neyland with a raucous crowd on Saturday night?
You hope. Now, your defense is going to have to give something to the crowd to let them stay engaged. You know, you give up 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6 on the first couple of drives, and your third down juice is not what it needs to be. So I think getting off to a good start and a quick start defensively is really important for this crowd.
This one's in all capital letters. AP Brent.
You got to shout it.
Is this from Brady Hoke?
Yeah, I was going to say, should I Brady Hoke this? Will JERMOD McCoy practice this week in all caps?
That was not all caps.
No exclamation point, just a question mark, but it is in all caps.
Listen, you're in that room by yourself. Lean back and just shout it.
He's been out there, Eric, but at the same time, he has. I don't want to put everybody there. But I don't think he's going to play this week as we tape on Wednesday morning. But I do think there's a really good shot that he plays coming out of the bye. I really do. I told Hubs that 3 weeks ago. I felt like that made a lot of sense. Give him another, another few weeks to get further down the line, and then we'll see where everything's at. Tennessee gets a win this week. They can find a way to get a win, and then get him back for the last 2 big games against Florida and Vandy would be a big shot in the arm to a defense.
I think that was Austin's Jim Cantori voice reporting live from the worst weather you've ever seen.
Vol through it all. Let's assume Kentucky and Auburn decided to make coaching changes in addition to the current firings. How would you rank the current coaching openings and why? So, say you got Kentucky and Auburn on the slate, LSU, Florida, Arkansas. Am I missing somebody?
LSU's the best job opening there is in the
Agreed.
It's LSU, Florida, and then everybody else. That's both in the SEC and nationally, right?
Kentucky last.
I would take Auburn over Florida, but that's me. Like, I get why you would say the opposite because the recruiting, backyard and all that. But I just think at Auburn, they're willing to do whatever it takes and keep throwing out checks until they get it right. So
they've also got
this week to.
They've also got a shorter leash at Auburn than they do at some other places too.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh, never mind. They're not going to.
If you can get it going,
mm-hmm.
If you can get it going, it's a pretty special spot.
Nobody goes from bottom and out to a national title contender and back and forth more quickly or over and over than Auburn. It's crazy.
Yep.
What is your prediction for Kiffin? Does he stay at Ole Miss, go to LSU, or Florida?
I'm going. He's going to stay at Ole Miss. The ghosts of Burning Mattress Pass are going to haunt that guy, and he knows he has it pretty good there. I think deep down he longs to go to an LSU or a Florida, but I think he's afraid he'll make the same mistake he made in 2009.
I don't think he'll be there. I think his heart says Florida. I think people around him are going to tell him you're crazy if you turn down the LSU job because it's a better job. So does he go with his heart, or does he go with what those around him are selling him on and make a more, quote, logical decision that way?
He was just on that E60, what was that, 2 weeks ago or something, and he said two things that kind of make you try to answer this question. It makes it hard. He said his daughter didn't want him to leave Ole Miss when the Auburn job was open and Auburn came after him. But at the same time, he talked about how he revered Steve Spurrier and he wears a visor because Steve wore a visor. I hope he didn't say anything like that in 2009 when he was at Tennessee. But does that mean the Florida job is something where he would want to go back and try to be Spurrier a couple decades later?
Here's the other thing. It's a great question, and you're trying to read body language and trying to dissect every word he says. Here's the other thing about the Ole Miss situation. They have been beyond successful in the portal, right? Can they continue to be as successful year in, year out in the portal, being that heavy of a portal team, or does he feel like, hey, with things changing, rev share, maybe some things leveling out, you're going to have to recruit high school kids more, and it's easier to recruit high school kids at LSU or Florida than he is at Ole Miss? I do wonder that as well from a logical standpoint in that process.
Lastly, any likely coaching picks at each school, such as Matt Rhule to Penn State? So you talk about Lane here. Any other, you can just see a coach going there for sure here in the SEC?
I don't know about the SEC. James Franklin's going to be coaching somewhere next year. He's going to get a Power 5 job.
I think Drinkwitz is going to move and go somewhere too.
If Drinkwitz can get a job, I think Drinkwitz will move, yes.
Because
now he's not going to Arkansas. He's not leaving Missouri for Arkansas.
Yeah.
But if he could get Florida, he would take that job, in my opinion. He would certainly take LSU as well. I think the whole Joe Brady thing at LSU is a pretty fascinating phenomenon. Does he want to be a college coach? Can he be a college coach? He's pretty revered down there because of how awesome that offense was with all that talent that they had running around. Where's Joe Brady's next coaching path? Is it in the NFL or is it in the college game? I think he stays in the NFL because he knows what the college game is, but does $10 million change his mind on that?
Does a guy like John Summerall get in play?
He's going somewhere.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to peg him for Kentucky.
Watch him at Auburn if Auburn opens up.
Yeah, correct, but I think he might can get better than that.
He could be at Ole Miss. He could be in play at Ole Miss. If Lane were to move, for sure.
I told you, Hubs. Lane's not leaving. Ghosts of Burning Mattress Past.
I'm sure you'll be right, as you always are.
Does Kentucky care enough about football to pay Stoops however many million he's owed within 45 days? Like, no disrespect, but their priorities are elsewhere.
And you're right. Here's the other interesting thing. Have they is Kentucky getting enough of a pulse offensively with some young players that now Stoops has gone from I just want out of here to wait a minute, we might be better next year because I'm a defensive guy. I'll get the defense right. We're going to have our offense. Now maybe he's more committed or more interested in staying for another year, whereas there was so much talk the 1st of October that he was done, right? AP just wanted gone. He wanted to get out of there if he could. I don't know.
Tennessee's defense gives him false hope.
Well, they've got, I mean,
around for another year.
I mean, what have they thrown? They've had 400 or 375 plus yards the last 2 weeks against Texas and Tennessee. I mean, they didn't do that in a SEC season or a month of SEC play a year ago. So
yeah,
you just wonder.
Almost had 500 yards total offense against the Vols. So that's fun. Let's go tempo here. Got about 5 more I want to get to. I know we're running out of time. Will the light bulb come on for Boo Carter this season?
No.
It's November. If it's not on by now.
I think the want to's got to be there. And I just don't know if he has the want to.
Grant Ramey, if Tennessee runs the table its remaining games this season, what percentage chance do you give them to make the playoff?
84%. Per
Says
the
who,
ESPN All-State Playoff Predictor, whatever thing. Which I think that simulation had Tennessee as a 8 seed playing Texas a 9 seed at home in the first round.
Grant, you just violated our agreement with Safeco. Volquest doesn't Safeco insurance can't be saying All-State on here. I'll go 83.9%.
Yeah, I would go high. Does Bishop play his way onto draft boards?
Not this year. I don't think so. I mean, he'll be on somebody's board, but I mean, I don't think he's going to play his way up any kind of draft board this year at the running back position.
The poster says, I'm really excited to see Joel Wyatt play safety. AP, are there any commits that excite you more than others?
Yeah, I mean, any of the receivers, I think I'd like to see Braden Rouse at linebacker. And then, yeah, we'll see if Joel Wyatt can play safety. I mean, he's going to get a chance. But, I mean, I think, the biggest thing is, if he sees he can't, he's got to be, full speed ahead to go where they want him to go.
Week 10 carnage. Vandy at Texas. Texas a 2.5-point favorite. Anybody here on this panel going to pick Texas to win? I mean, Vanderbilt is the popular pick, obviously. It feels like everyone's going to pick Vanderbilt.
Yes, I'll take Texas at home.
I'll take Vanderbilt.
I'll take Vanderbilt. I don't think Texas is good.
I'll take Texas at home. I have no idea why. I don't know what the Manning protocol update is. I don't know that it matters, but just because it's in Austin.
Will Georgia cover a 7.5-point spread against Florida in Jacksonville?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think the coming off the bye or having the interim bump is that big of a difference for Florida. We'll see though.
I am interested to see what Florida looks like for the next few weeks before Tennessee gets there. What, are they the same? Are they better? Are they worse? Where are they at?
Any other games on the slate that intrigue you? I think the only one that kind of intrigues me is Mississippi State Arkansas. Can Mississippi State finally get an SEC win? It's been so dang close. But outside of that,
Miami goes to SMU. I know that's obviously not an SEC game, but it's a thing at 11 a.m. local time start. That's interesting.
I hope I've had this conversation because I love to play the connect the dots thing. I think there's a chance the SEC can get to 5 teams, but I think that means the ACC is only getting 1, which means if you're a Tennessee fan or anybody like that, you want Virginia or Georgia Tech to lose to get Miami into that ACC title game, or Miami to drop a second game. Miami being a 1-loss team, not getting to the title game means the ACC is going to get 2. So for my liking, you want one of those 2 things to happen. So either pick, cheer for SMU to beat Miami and give them a second loss, or the game I'm looking at is Virginia playing Brent Hubbs' boy, Justin Wilcox, and the Cal Bears. Cal's not very good, but you have that 3,000-mile trek. You got to go over there and play in Berkeley, and Virginia's coming off a barely escaped win against that terrible North Carolina team.
Brent Hubbs, having gone up against them daily, can Seth Luttrell provide any insights into solving Oklahoma's defense this week?
There's so much familiarity from this whole staff with Brent Venables and the defense. These 2 teams know each other more than maybe any other team. This feels like a Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. Everybody's worked with somebody at some point. When you look at it, Landry Jones, Seth Luttrell, Josh Heupel, Joey Halsley, they were all on the staff at Oklahoma in some capacity when Brent Venables was there at Oklahoma as well. They all know each other. They all know each other's tendencies. So there's not going to be a lot of shock or surprise in this deal.
What do you guys think of the new 24-team playoff proposal, Grant?
Let them all in, Grant.
Too many. I'm good with 12. I would be good with 16. 24 is, you might as well just go to 68 and play a tournament.
And then go to 94.
That's right.
Then go to all 300, whatever. Last one. How big of an issue is Oklahoma's ability to scout, steal opponents' signals per Lane Kiffin? Do you think Tennessee will change their offensive signals? AP, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I mean, Tennessee, there's different guys, or there's everybody signaling signals. Only one of them's hot at a time, and I mean, I would imagine they probably change who that person is every quarter or every half or something, right? I mean, everybody does that.
This staff is all too familiar with the fact that old Brent Venables and them like to do whatever it takes to get the signals. So, they're very aware of it, and I do think it's a thing. And, I'd say that Tennessee will have 2 or 3 tricks up their sleeve.
It's not necessarily sign stealing, Brent, but what's our buddy's name that's we're hanging out with there in the hallway this week over on
Tennessee's very protective of it. I mean, they're very aware of it. It's a thing, and Tennessee is taking all precautions throughout the week during preparations to make sure. I mean, and nobody wants to look up and see a helicopter flying over because they're going to wonder what that is. I mean, there's a lot of that on minds of everybody. I think Tennessee probably changes signals every possession. I think it happens frequently, and I think Tennessee is very mindful of that situation and has been. They were a year ago, and they certainly will be, and they certainly are this year as well.
A lot going on this week and every week right here at Volquest.com. You can jump in and join the fun, the biggest and best, most engaging online fan base there is, the community we call the General's Quarters, for $1. Your first 7 days, your first week, $1. Come check us out here at Volquest.com. We got football preview, everything Tennessee, Oklahoma. Basketball starting on Monday officially. We got a massive recruiting weekend coming up. Baseball, fall ball, War Room coming up on Friday. So much more in the works right here at Volquest.com. Come join us, be on a member. If you're listening and watching this right now but not a member, we appreciate you, but there's so much more meat on that bone. Come join us over at Volquest.com. For Brent Hubbs, Grant Ramey, Austin Price, I'm Eric Kane. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Volquest Mailbag Podcast.